Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all viewers now and in the future, hopefully. Welcome to the second series of For You, okay, by Delta Kedah. So before we proceed with what we have planned for you, the candidate of SPM for 1119 English Papers 2022-2023, we would like to extend the congratulations by Mr. Zandurin and Madam Sabjit from the first series, all of you, for being here. Congratulations for being here, where we hope that all of you, especially to those with intermediate and lower level of proficiency for English, would feel that we have done enough to help, no matter how small they might be. Okay, do remember we are having a santai session, so please feel free or expensive, depending on how you look at life, to ask questions that hopefully we will be able to enlighten as well as help you. All right, without further ado, please allow me to introduce the panelists for tonight. Okay, I am Mr.Imran bin Saat. I am from Sekolah Menengah Agama. Sorry, I am currently teaching in Sekolah Menengah Agama Fauzi. And we have our second panelist, the esteemed, the gorgeous, the beautiful Madam Suriati Binti Ishak from SMK Batu 17. Have anything to say, Madam Suriati?
Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here tonight.
Okay, next we have Mr. Ahmad Azrul Afeze bin Ahmad Rosdi from SMK Keladi. Mr. Azrul?
Hi.
Short, sweet and simple, okay? From the handsome Mr. Azrul. All right, both of them are very accomplished and esteemed teachers, well respected in their fields of English especially. Okay, so hopefully you can ask us questions. So previously, for the first series, we have done for paper 2, writing. So for this part, hopefully we will focus more on reading paper 1. So hopefully if you have any question, please feel free to ask. And before that, Madam Suriati will start off with her version with hopefully will help you guys to be clearer on what you target for your SPM papers. Okay, so the floor is yours, Madam Suriati.
Okay. Shall I start now? Yeah,
Yes,
okay. Alright. Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum. Okay, how's everything now? It's I think more or less like 30 days to go, right? Before your written paper. But less than 20 days for your oral paper. Okay? So by right, you now should be at 70, 80, 90% of preparation for your exam. Okay, let me start with this quote from Clement Stone. Okay,
oh,
aim for the moon. If
oh,
you miss, you may hit the star. Okay, this is a very popular quote from him. So what I was assigned is target setting. Okay, target setting. I'm going to use my very humble version of score calculator, and you should know that by now, setting your own goal should be the priority, okay, when you have something to achieve. Okay, so let me ask you this. What is your personal target for English 1119? To get an A? C perhaps? Or just to pass? Well, I'm not going to question your target because that is something personal, right? You know your capability, you know your own strength, right? But I am 100% sure, 110, 150% sure, okay, that all of you wish to pass the exam with flying colors. Okay, that is something for sure. So what I will share with you tonight is some simple calculation, all right, for you to set your target. I know you have your own target, but usually when we ask students, they will answer, teacher, saya nak dapat A. Teacher, I nak target A+. So what is your A+? How do you define your A+? If you ask to give details of your A plus, how would you score for your paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4? And which paper is your that you are most confident with, and which paper you are still struggling? Okay, you should know that. Okay,
Yeah.
before we start, let me remind you that we have 4 papers to deal with. All right, so each paper has different marks, but same weightage, which is 25%
25.
each. Okay, now so basic calculation for you to know, by now you should know your marks divided by the full mark of the paper, and and okay, good, and multiplied by 25, so that you
Yeah.
get your 25% for each paper. Okay, I'm going to share my version of score calculator. So let us see some examples of how you should score for each paper based on my students' marks in their trial exam recently. Okay, all right. Hold on, let me share my screen first. Okay, can you see the screen now? Yes?
Yes.
Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So, all right, good. So now, okay, see there are 4 papers there. The full marks for each paper is also stated there, 40, 60, 24, and 30. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have parts of each paper and the
Mm-hmm.
marks. Okay, part 1, for example, paper 1, we have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. So we are going to play with numbers now. Okay, let us begin with 40 marks, which is the passing marks for SPM, right? The normal
Mm-hmm.
passing mark for SPM.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if you are to get the 40 marks, how should you score for each paper? Okay, this is a sample. Okay, okay, now paper 1, he got 3 for part 1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
3 for part 2,
Mm-hmm.
2 for part 3, and
Mm-hmm.
3 and 3. Okay, 14 marks over 40 for paper 1. Okay, too low, right? But we'll see later.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see later. Okay. Now for paper 2, he
Mm-hmm.
got more or less 10. Okay, and too bad, 8 and 8 for the rest of the parts. So
Mm-hmm.
26 over 60. Normal, right? Normal marks
Yeah.
for less proficient student. Okay, so this is his marks for paper 3, the speaking paper. 3, 2, 3, and 2. Senyum banyak, tak cakap apa-apa. Senyum saja. So this is the marks. Okay, and for paper 4, 3, 3, 2, and 4. So what's the total mark? Yes, 40, right? So just now you say it's very low, and C, this kind of marks allows you to pass the paper already. So is it
Mm-hmm.
difficult to pass the English paper then?
No.
No.
See?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, oh, how can I get the score calculator? Are you Safia? Well, we'll see how. This is a normal Excel with a simple formula. You may ask your
Mm-hmm.
teacher to help you do this sheet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. All right. Now, so done with passing. Just pass. Barely pass the paper. But trust me, 40 is a good number to pass already. Okay? So let's see if you are to get like credit. You wish to get credit, C,
See.
50, 55, right? Okay, how? Okay. Add up another 1 mark for paper 1. Okay, let's see. 4, 4, 4, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Naik sikit lah. You improve a bit, right? You improve a bit. And also for paper 2, Allah, 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 Allah. 12, okay. And, okay, 10 and 10. Still normal marks for our students, Imran, okay. And improve a bit on your speaking. Of course, you
Yeah.
need to do better when you aim
Yes.
for higher marks. Okay, that is normal. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5, 2, 4. So what's the mark now?
50.
50 already.
Yeah.
So if you wish to get more marks, score more. But make sure you have the target for each part of the
Yes.
paper. Each part. You
Mhm.
know your strength in all parts of the paper. Okay. So target higher for that part. And work on the parts which you are weak in. Okay. You should know that by now. All right. So now you know if you aim to get A and above, how? How? Or what are the marks that you should aim for? Surely you need to score better than this, right? Okay, let's see. Imran, give me the number, Imran.
6.
Okay,
All right. 8.
right.
5, I think.
Okay, good.
Okay, 5.
Others part,
5, okay.
5.
Okay, and the last one, I think
And
7. It's okay, 7.
5, 6.
7, 7.
Okay, Azrul, your
Yes.
best student score, Azrul, for paper 2.
A, right?
20.
A students,
20.
Okay, 20. Part 1, 20.
20. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, for
Okay,
email.
for part
Yeah.
1,
Part
20,
2, part
definitely.
2
Part
is
2,
quite tricky, so 15. 15.
15.
okay.
Okay,
Part
part
3,
3, they love
easy part.
review, so we give them 16.
Good. And what about paper 3? Of
I
course,
think
when
for
you want to score A and above, you need to
Mhm.
score 4 and above
Yes.
for
Yeah,
paper 3, right?
Yep.
I think for
So
overall they
5
can
for
score
OSC,
5. Yes,
yeah.
mhm.
Grammar,
4 probably.
5. Oh, okay. Vocab,
Okay, 5.
5.
And then communicative competence, yeah, 5.
Hmm?
Overall 5.
5. Right. What about listening?
Okay, that one's a bit of killing
7.
paper for some of them. Yeah.
Tricky paper, 5, 6.
Okay,
The
good.
first part is the easiest one, right? 7
Yeah,
can.
this one,
Uh-uh.
yes.
Yeah.
6. 5.
6 will do.
6. Okay, 6. And then,
6.
okay, 6.
4.
4 and
This one 6 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
see? Okay. So your total score now is
79.
79 more or less.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Sikit lagi nak dapat 80. A little
80.
bit more to 80, right?
Yeah.
So now, can you see how you should do your target? It's not as simple as saying, teacher, saya nak A, teacher, saya nak C. It's not as easy as that. You have to be specific. Okay? You really have to be specific so that you know what you are working on. You know which part that you need to focus more. That is a strategy for you to for you to score, for you to aim higher, for you to get better marks. Okay. So hopefully my score calculator tonight helps you. All right. And we'll see how we can share my this score calculator file, perhaps to your teacher. Ask them to contact me, perhaps. Okay, I'll give you the file. Who knows? Okay, so I think that's all for my part. Okay, should there be any question, you can ask us in the chat box. All right. Yeah, over to you, Imran.
Right. Madam Suriati, I have a question for you. Looking at your
Yes,
score
yes, yes.
calculator, will it be okay for them to target specific papers and
Yeah.
maybe leave one paper behind? Is it okay for them to do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Remember, I mentioned earlier that it's 25% for each paper.
Yeah.
So I always tell my students this. If you get full marks for paper 1 and paper 2,
Yeah.
but you scored very low for your paper 3 and 4, you will only get 50 plus marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Correct.
not good enough. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
English, okay, for English, if you want to learn English the right way, please focus on the 4 skills: reading,
Yeah.
writing, listening, speaking. Okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
Especially for CFR, we are focusing on what you can do, right? So you should
Yes, it's
try.
what you can do, the can do statement. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. For that, I believe that they can predict their scores by doing and improve their score, their targeted scores by doing revision from the state trials questions, and then see whether their marks
Yes.
are getting higher and higher, so that they will know which part are
Okay.
they weak at, right?
Okay, one more before I pass this to you. I totally forgot to mention this. Okay.
Yeah.
What should you do after you set your target?
Huh.
Okay. Now, you have your target with you. Every time you do exercises for the papers, okay, let's say today you decide to do paper 1, part 1 only. Make sure you get the target. You achieve the target for the part that you do the practice on that day. Okay? It's easier that way rather than you you set the overall target and set the target for each part. It's easier for you to do revision. Okay, it's easier for you to do own practice and check whether
Yeah.
you achieve the target or not. All right, thank you, Aiman, for
Yeah.
reminding me. That's all.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Suriati. All right, like what she's told you guys, you can contact her, you can reach her if you want the score calculator. But like what she told us just now, it is actually easy to be done. So hopefully, this will help you guys to plan for your revision for what you are going to do this coming in this final phases for your SPM papers, specifically for English papers. All right, so now I'm going to continue with, I think, presenting for part 1, 2, and 3 for SPM 1119/1, which is reading and use of English. Okay. All right. So now to recap, just to recap, because I know you have been studying a lot of subjects. Some of you are taking 9, 8, 12 subjects. So just to recap, all right. So we have 5 parts. The first one is 3 option multiple choice question. All right. 3 option meaning you only have A, B, and C. For part 2, we have 4 option multiple choice clues. So this one is, of course, vocabulary and grammar. And for part 3, we have 4 option multiple choice questions, a longer text, all right, a longer text or longer stimulus, all right, with 4 options, A, B, C, or D. Part 4, which will be presented by Mr. Azrul, gap text, and part 5, the matching and information transfer. All right, so like I've always told my students, and I believe your teachers have done so numerous times, all right, We have done everything together. You have done it alone and with your friends, and of course with your teachers, whether it's your school teachers or your tuition teachers. Please remember the primary tips. How to score for paper one. You must have the proficiency and you must prepare for it. For those who are very proficient in English, you will find that answering paper one is actually a piece of cake. But for those with lower proficiency level, it is important for you to try to prepare and acquire the proficiency. So simple to say, if you understand what the question wants, if you understand the vocabulary, perkataan-perkataan, the words, the diction in the question and in the answer options, it will be very easy for you to answer the questions because you don't need calculator, you don't need any formula for you to come up with the answers. The answers are there. Okay, some may be in different wording, different context, but the answers are there. So basically, if you are proficient, if you understand the questions and the answer options, it will be a walk in the park. All right. So to do that, you have to prepare for it. All right. So there are a lot of topics, a lot of topics. So some ask, my students ask me, the other students will ask their teachers, what will come out in paper one? Okay, it is not like formatted question like in paper two. Okay, we do not know whether we cannot confirm that it will be whether a review, article, story, or report. Okay, we don't know that email or postcard will come out. No. All right, for paper one, it will follow the syllabus. The topic is from your textbook, from your syllabus. The words, the diction, the vocabularies, all grammatical questions comes from your syllabus or specifically your textbook. Okay, so these are all the topics from your textbook, from your syllabus since you were in form 3. Okay, so basically you are supposed to, and I believe you have learned everything in your textbook. And for form 5, we have not only our textbook, we have your workbook, we have your test book, all right, your grammar and vocabulary book. So you can ask for everything from your teacher. Okay, ask your teachers for everything. They have everything for you guys, and I hope you are well prepared for it. Okay, so remember, even though this is paper one, this is not your first step for your 1119 paper, English paper. Your first step is actually your speaking paper, and then your listening, and then your third paper is actually the reading part, paper one. Okay. All right. Okay. So how to answer three option multiple choice question? How to answer part one? I believe you have done this, maybe thousands of questions. You know this one, but you have to know the purpose of each question. You have to know the tips. You have to know the tricks. Okay, for you to really, really, really do confirm that yes, this is my answer. Okay. All right. So you have to understand the main points. Okay, in text on a wide range of familiar topics. So basically, for part one, it requires you to understand the main point, the main idea. So that's how you will confirm whether your answer is correct or not by understanding the answer option as well as the stimulus. Okay, so please, you have to do this. You have to understand that the question is asking you for main points. If that's the question is asking you for the main point, they might ask you for specific details and information in the stimulus, dalam bahan rancangan, dalam teks, dalam petikan. Okay, it might ask you to understand whether you can understand the specific details and information, whether you can skim and scan for the information needed, only the information needed. For main points, you have to understand the text as a whole. But for this question, specific details and information, you really need to find the answer. You really need to know the specific details that the question asks for you. Okay, and of course, for paper one, for part one, two, three, four, and five, you have to know the meaning of words. If you do not understand the meaning of the words, you have to have the skill to guess the meaning based on the clues provided by other words and by context. Okay, so this is how basically you will manage to score a lot of marks for part one specifically and for paper one as a whole. All right. Okay, if you have any question, please just ask us. Inshallah, we'll try our best to answer your questions. Even though for I think for part one and part three, there should be no main concern for you compared to, for example, part four, which will be touched by Mr. Azrul later, inshallah. Okay, just to look at the sample question here. Okay, so now this is a question asking for main points. How do you know that? Look at the wording here, the purpose of the advertisement. So meaning tujuan. Why the advertisement is like this? What is the purpose of the advertisement? So you have to understand the text. You have to understand the extract. You have to understand the advertisement and the answer options before you can really confirm that your answer is A, B, or C. Okay, so please remember, be careful when you read the question, and be careful when you try to understand the text as a whole. Okay, all right. Next, if the question is asking you for specific details and information, it could ask you for this, which statement is true. So you have to scan the text. Remember, you have to scan the text to see whether it matches, okay, with the answer options A, B, or C. For example, here there are job vacancies. So for those who do not understand the word vacancy, you have to try to guess the meaning based on the context. If it is not here, then you are in a big trouble. Why? Because I've told you before, to really confirm whether your answer is true or not, you do need to understand the vocabulary, the words in the answer options, and uh, the abstract. Okay, given by the in the paper one for part one specifically. Right? So if you know the word here, vacancies, if you know the meaning of it, it will be very easy for you to answer this question, for you to scan and compare whether A is true or not. Okay, for example here, job vacancies, of course, mean kekosongan pekerjaan ataupun kekosongan jawatan. And then in various locations. I believe all of you should know the meaning of location, but some of you might not understand the word various, which means a lot of locations. Okay, so you scan for it, scan for the answers, scan for you to compare whether A is true or not. All right, so here there are job vacancies in various locations. All right, so it is only opening in Yan. So for now, the job vacancy is only in one location. So that's how you confirm that A is not true. Okay, and then what about for B? Fresh graduates can apply for the positions. Okay, fresh graduates, but here it says minimum 2 years retail experience. So some might not know the word retail. Okay, but you can guess from the context, 2 years experience, work on shift. Okay, so meaning the retail word here might be related to pekerjaan, bekerja, experience 2 years or pengalaman bekerja. Okay, so you can scan and then you can try to guess the meaning, and then I believe you can compare with the answer options there, and you can find out that the answer option B is incorrect. Okay, and then for C, the company will open more branches, and of course, there are statement there, company with big plans to expand right across Malaysia. So this is what we have been telling you guys. There might not be the same wording for wording, word for word, okay, in the answer options and in the extract. But I believe if you really do understand the words, if you really do have a wide range of vocabulary, okay, I believe these questions for part one will be very easy for you to score a full mark maybe, and you will get a better chances for you to get your targeted score. Okay, so you can put in your score calculator full mark for part one. Okay, I believe I have a question. What if there are two confusing answers? Okay, ini, mini, mini, more, or leave it and answer other questions first. All right, if you are really not that confident, yes, you should leave it for at that moment and focus on questions that you can confirm the answers. But then when you go back to the questions that you have left earlier, make sure you try to use the process of elimination. Okay, you can try to eliminate the obvious answers that you think is incorrect, and you have to scan, and you have to really need to guess the meaning, or guess the main point, the main idea that the question wants for you, in order for you to choose the correct answer. Don't simply ini mini anymore. Okay, I want to choose A. Don't leave it to fate. Don't leave it to God. Yes, you have to pray to God to give you the wahyu, okay, for you to answer the question. But please try it first. Don't give up at the first sight of problem and obstacles. Okay. All right. So I believe, because I know the answer options are there to throw you off from the correct answer. So it should be confusing. But some are plain and obviously wrong. So you can eliminate that. Okay. Okay. All right. So now for part two, this one is one of the most not boring topic, but one of the most hard to explain to students, because it contains grammatical knowledge question. Basically, it's asking you guys about grammar. Okay, but like what I've told my students, even though you have learned a lot of grammatical items, okay, all those years since you were in standard one until you're now not in form 5, but basically you are form 6, 18 years old. All right, but there should be only 5, maybe 6 questions on grammar, okay, for your SPM papers. Okay, so the others will be lexis or vocabulary. Okay, so this is a sample question. All right, so these questions will have a lot of confusing answers of that you may find. Okay, I think I can use A. Alamak, I think C is also correct. So this depending on your level of knowledge or proficiency level, especially for your vocabulary. Right? Okay, to do this, you have to do a lot of exercises. Remember, you don't have to write an essays for you to get a very good mark for grammar. You can do a lot of exercises in your textbook, in your workbook, in your test book. Okay, there are a lot of grammatical item question, a lot of vocabulary questions. Okay, there is even a book, download B1 Plus for grammar and vocabulary. All right, you can do that again and again and again for you to encounter. I always tell my students this: you have to encounter the words first. You have to encounter the grammatical question first, and then you do it. You discuss, and then you remember, and then when you encounter it in your own SPM paper, it will be a piece of cake. All right. So exercises, revision is very important, especially for this part. All right. Okay. Okay, so these are some of the grammatical items that you have learned throughout your school years. Okay, there are a lot of them. But remember, there should be only 10 questions specifically focusing on grammar and vocabulary. Right, so don't fret on these topics. You don't have to be a professor. You don't have to read a lot of books on this grammar. Okay. Mr. Azrul, how do you teach your students grammar? Do you teach them explicitly or implicitly?
I guess I teach both ways, and
Yeah.
most importantly, when it
Mhm.
comes to grammar, we have to drill all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yes. All right. Do you agree, Madam Suriati?
Well, I always remind them that they have been studying grammar since like what, standard 4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay, by right they should know the basic one. Is our
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
were right.
Yeah, yes.
Has have the articles and in the questions
Mm-hmm,
there'll be one or two questions on that, so please don't make mistake
mm-hmm.
on that part, because
Yeah.
those are the basic parts of grammar.
Mm-hmm,
Mm.
mm-hmm.
Like
The
Yes.
just
rest,
like
like Azrul
we,
mentioned,
yeah.
you have
Mm-hmm.
to do lots and lots of practice.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. We have a question from Mr. Azham Amran. What happens when candidates forgot to transfer their answer to the answer sheet at the back of the question paper? Hopefully, it will not happen to any of you guys, but inshallah, your invigilators will be there to remind you to please transfer your answers to the answer sheet at the back. Okay, but please do not do the mistake. Do not make an error to forget. Simply forget to transfer your answers to the back of to the answer sheet at the back. All right. So please, and I
And
pray that none of
practice,
you will do that.
please. Practice transferring your answer. That is something simple but very
Yeah.
crucial. Practice
Yeah.
doing that. Okay?
Mhm. Okay, all right. So this is a tip that I give to my students. What can they do besides answering the questions again and again and again, because they have their friends? Why don't you make use of your friends? Why don't you make use of your teachers? So for now, you can select 3 or 4 texts more if you want to. Make your own gaps and write your own options. You have the true options there, and then you make your own 1, 2, 3, or 4 fake options, but it should be closely resembling the true answer. Okay, to make it a bit confusing. Okay, you can answer the questions given in your textbook, workbook, grammar book, but you can always do your own using the text in your own textbook. And then you swap and complete. All right. For example, okay, we have a text here. This one is in your download B1 Plus. Okay, you can photostat them. Okay, and then you can, uh, okay, you can delete, eliminate any words that you like. All right. For example, here decompose. Okay, and then we have polluted. Okay, and one more is this one. All right, and then you write down your own answer options, including the correct answer. Okay, and then when you swap with your friends and you answer them, and then the learning will happen when you discuss, because you know the answer is A, and then you will try to discuss, okay, why is the answer A, why is the answer not B? And then if you are not sure, you can always refer to your teachers. But I believe you have learned this basic, like what Minister said, basic grammatical items question. For example, after do, okay, the verb should always be, usually be in their basic form, all right, their root word, all right, decompose. So that's how you learn, that's how you internalize everything, that's how you scaffold everything that you have learned with your teachers, on your own, in your tuition, all right. This could be a very monumental effort for you to prepare specifically for part 2, all right, for paper 1, all right. Okay, so when trying to guess the meaning of an unknown word, specifically for the vocabulary, please again look for clues in the context. Okay, look at the words before and the words after it as well. And look at the previous and following sentences if you need to, for you to try to guess the meaning of the word, for you to try to fit in whether answer option A, B, or C, or D should be in the gap for for vocabulary questions. Okay, you can also look for clues in the word itself. Okay, see if it is similar to any other words that you know. But remember, for English, some are very confusing when you add uh, prefixes or suffixes. Tambah imbuhan je, terus jadi maksud lain. Ada yang tambah imbuhan jadi maksud yang lebih kurang sama, cuma tukar noun and verb or adjective. So this comes again to your proficiency level and your knowledge of vocabulary. So again, like what Mr. Azrul said, you have to drill it, you have to do it again and again and again for you to put it in your long-term memory. Okay. Uh, okay, next.
Sorry to interrupt. There's a question by
Mhm.
Sunny. Okay, he said, "I'm weak at grammar. Can I skip this part and continue to the fun information transfer first? It's the easiest, I think." So
Of course, you can skip to it if you want to enjoy
yes,
answering a question, but do not forget to come back to it.
yes,
Yeah, right,
yes,
Mr. Azrul?
Okay.
yes. I agree.
I always tell my students this one. There's
Mm-hmm.
no rules that
Yeah,
says that you have to start with part one.
part one. Yes,
No
agree.
Yes.
rules. Okay, you can always start with whatever parts that you are confident with.
Yeah.
Okay, but like Azrul or Imran said just now, don't
Mhm.
forget to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, we have our JU in KMY here, Teacher Fai. Okay, she informed that it's going to be on our hybrid again this year, so separate answer sheet. So hopefully you will not forget to transfer your answers in your question paper into your OMR hybrid sheet. Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Faizah. Okay. Moving on to part three, basically it's part the same as part one, but it's a bit longer and it has an extra multiple choice answer. Okay, all right. Let's get this one. All right, to answer this type of question again, it will ask whether you understand. Can you pinpoint? Can you understand the main idea of the text, but not the whole text? Probably only for the specific paragraph. Guess the meaning of words. Guess the meaning of the idioms. Guess the meaning of collocation or expression, asking you for the specific details and probably the opinion or attitude of the writer. So you have to really prepare for this. Okay, for you to answer part three. All right, so to answer multiple choice questions, I believe you can try this one. Try to answer them in your own words first before you are distracted by seeing the answer options. Why? If you are proficient enough, you can guess the answer by looking at the text, by skimming and scanning the text. And then when you think, okay, this is the answer, let me see it in the answer options. When you found it, bam, the answers are there and you can confirm that, all right, this is my answer. But if it is not there, it is probably in a different wording or in different type of information that you should really scan again and again for you to find the correct answer. Okay. And once you think you know the answer, look at the options and voila, and inshallah, you will find the answer. All right. Okay, you can also try this one, elimination. Okay, but this one is for words that are clearly wrong or over exaggerated. Okay, including negative words such as no one, never, because these are extreme words and they are usually incorrect. Okay, so from here we can eliminate some of the answer options that are using the extreme and negative words. We can see here no one steals them, no one steal printed books. Okay, so it is an over exaggeration. Ebooks will never replace them. They have a lot of positive points. They have better prices than ebooks. So basically, you are eliminating two options. So from four, you're only left with two. So you have a better chance for you to find the correct answer simply by eliminating the answer options with the over exaggerated words. Okay, and of course, please you have to do this elimination process so that you are not distracted again and again by the incorrect answers. Okay. All right. So please read each question carefully. All right. Please, and do not leave your paper blank. Suci sesuci sucinya. No. Try to underline. Try to highlight the question. What do you think the question wants? And of course, I always remind my students. Please highlight or underline the evidence that you think is the answer. Okay, so that you can refer to them again when you are checking your answers. Okay, please underline them. Do not simply yes, it's here. Okay, B. And then when you're rechecking your answers, you will not read the whole text. You might not have the time to read the whole text for you to confirm your answers. But if you have highlighted or underlined the evidence that you think will help you to find the correct answer, it will help you when you are rechecking your answers. Okay, and then when the question refers to the whole text, avoid options which are true but refer only to part of the text. Do not be fooled by the questions which seems to be okay. I think the answer is A. This the text mentioned this one, paragraph one mentions about A, but it might ask you to identify the correct answer, which is D. C. Okay, so please avoid options that refer only to part of the text. So you should read the text as a whole or read the paragraph as a whole for for part 3. Okay, make sure you have chosen the correct answer by eliminating the wrong options if you can. So remember, there are no one correct way to answer part 3. Okay, some you can eliminate the incorrect answer, some you can try to look at the answer options which refer to the whole text, main point, main idea. And please avoid options which sound logical but are not mentioned in the text, even though we know cows eat grass. But if it is not in the text, please do not choose the answer options that mention cows eat grass. Okay, so just please read the text carefully, read the paragraph carefully, and please avoid answers that might sound logical for you, but again, it is not mentioned in the text. And of course, do not fall for the word or phrases which have the same spelling, same pronunciation, but it do not mean the same thing. Okay, all right. So I hope that will help you guys to answer questions for part 3.
Okay, Mr.
Uh,
Imran,
and
let me interrupt.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, there's one question from our
Mhm.
viewer. Can I not read all the paragraphs but read only the question is asking me to? So what do you think?
Yes, so for part three, a lot of question will ask you specifically for which paragraph
Which
for you
paragraph?
to
Yeah.
find the answer. Yes, but
Yes.
there might be one or two question that ask you, okay, what is the main idea of the text?
Yeah.
What is so for that you have to read the whole paragraph. So yes, again, you have to read the question carefully. You have to know what the question wants from which paragraph, from which
Mhm.
extract. Okay, good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think advanced students they always do this, right?
Yes. It takes time.
But weaker students perhaps they don't even know which paragraph to refer to, even though it's stated there which paragraph should they refer
Yeah.
to, but they still couldn't
Mm,
find the answer. So I
yeah.
think you know yourself better. If you
You
Mm-hmm.
know
feel
what?
like doing that, you can save a lot of time and you know
Yes.
how to do it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Why not
Yeah.
go ahead? Okay, that's an
Mm-hmm.
advantage actually. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to share one very important tip is that
Mm-hmm.
when they read the passage for reading comprehension, the first thing
Mm-hmm.
that students should do is they should number each paragraph. They
Ah,
write number
yes.
one, number two for each paragraph so that when they read the question from paragraph two, so they will be
Mm-hmm.
at only paragraph number two.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the first
Mm-hmm.
thing that I believe they should do, and it is very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a very good tip. Yes, like what Mr. said, it will actually save you a lot of times. A lot of time, then you read the whole text. Okay.
Yes,
Remember, you only have 1.5 hour, and
exactly.
if you manage to save some time, then you will have the time to recheck your answer to
Yeah.
reconfirm whether your answer is correct or not. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay, so I think that's all for my part. But if you have any question for part 1, 2, or 3, feel free to ask, no problem. Okay, so with that, I think I pass the floor to Mr. Azrul for part 4 and 5.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Imran, for sharing lots of useful tips in answering part one, part two, and part three. And I'm sure our viewers, the 2022 SPM candidates, find them very, very useful in helping them to answer those three parts. And also to teacher Suriati, I really love your score calculator, and I believe the score calculator is very, very helpful, especially for the lower proficiency students to set their target in achieving whatever score that they want for the English paper. Okay, so
Yes.
as for my part, I'll be presenting part 4 and 5. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and please ask any question. Okay, in the chat box. All right, and I am more than happy to answer your questions if you have any. Okay, so before I continue with my part 4 and 5, I would like to remind you once again that this is reading paper one, and you only have 1 hour 30 minutes to
Yeah.
answer 5 different parts which require different skills. All right, so this is the suggested time that I think students should follow. So for part one, as mentioned by Mr. Imran just now, MCQ questions, there are 8 questions. So you should spend most 15 minutes for this part. Okay, followed by part 2, 10 minutes. Even though there are 10 questions, but it is only vocabulary and grammar question, close passage. So boleh hantam saja kan kalau tak tahu kan. So don't spend too much time on this part. Alright, because remember for part 3, the reading comprehension, you will be given a longer text. So spend the most on this part, 25 minutes. Okay, you need to do lots of reading for this part. And then followed by the matching gap, which is part 4. 6 questions only, but still you have a lot to read, so spend at least 20 minutes. And last but not least, the information transfer, 8 questions, so another 20 minutes for this part. So all in all, there will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So remember, timing is everything. Time is gold, so make sure you manage your time well. Okay? All right. Matching gap, question number 27 to question number 32, which carry 6 marks. Okay, this is the most common question that I always get from my students. Okay, how to detect the clues for gap text? Yes, this is the most difficult part for many students, especially the weak ones. But there are ways for you to answer this part. Okay, so there are 3 answers that I would give. The first one is you should scan the text quickly. Okay, and then followed by focus on the sentence before and after the blanks. And lastly, it is very, very important for you to read the answer options given there, A, B, until H. Okay,
Yeah.
so what do I mean by scanning the text? Okay, when you scan the text, okay, you read quickly, you will get the idea of what the text is all about. And then you will also understand the gist of each paragraph. Because remember, the blanks, you will find the blanks not only in one paragraph, but in different paragraphs. So it is very, very, it is essential for you to get the gist of each paragraph. Okay. And another thing that worries the students is that they think or they feel like they need to understand the meaning of all word in the passage. No, you don't have to understand the meaning of every word because, as I said just now, okay, focus on the sentence before and after the blanks. Okay, next one. Okay, what do I mean by focusing on the sentence before and after the blanks is look for the pronoun or subject or object used in the sentences. Okay, this is where you identify like nama ke, ialah pronoun, okay, kata ganti nama. So these are the things that you should identify in the sentence before and after the blanks. Okay, lastly, it is also crucial for you to read all the answer options. You cannot just simply read A, B, C, D. No. Remember, there are 8 answer options and you will be needing to find 6 correct answers only, and the other 2 are the distractors. So after you identify the pronoun and subject, or maybe the object in the sentences before and after the blanks, this is what you should do when you read the answer options. Look for the same maybe pronoun or subject or object or even synonym in the answer options, because this might be the clues and this might be the answers for your question. Okay, so let's try. Okay, this is 2021 Malacca English Trial Paper 1. All right. Question part 4. So I give you 1 minute for you to read the first and second paragraph. So in the second paragraph, there's one question, one blank for question number 27. Okay, 1 minute for you to read those 2 paragraphs. Okay, 30 seconds. 10 seconds. All right, time's up. Okay, remember the first thing that you should do is to scan the text. Okay, when you scan, you should get a general idea of what the text is about. And then when you want to attempt to answer question 27 until 32, remember to read the sentence before and after the blanks. Okay, let's take question 27 as an example. So the sentence before is, soon it was time for Sneha to go to college. So you have the subject Sneha. You also have the object college. All right. And then the blanks there. And then the sentence after the blank. She was excited to go to college, but at the same time, she felt sad to leave her grandmother. So you
Mm-hmm.
notice the pronoun she, it is referring to, it's referring to
Yeah.
Sneha, yes. And
Yeah.
also we have the object college there. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to identify the correct answer, okay, look at the answer option from A to H. Identify which answer options have or talks about Sneha or college. Yeah, Mr. Imran, can you point out which answer
I
option?
found the word college in D.
In D, okay.
Yeah.
Can you find the word college in other answer options?
Uh, come back home and nothing. Yeah, I think
None,
I
right?
don't think so. Yes,
Only
I don't
in
think so.
D, right? Okay. And
Yes.
if we reread the sentences before and
Mm-hmm.
after the blank again, so we
Mm-hmm.
know that this particular part or this particular paragraph is actually talking
Mm-hmm.
about Sneha going to college, right?
Yeah. Mm.
So could D be the answer for question number 27?
Could be.
It could be, because
Mm-hmm.
we have already identified the pronoun and also the subject and
Yeah.
also the object. So
Mm-hmm.
let's check the answer. Is D the correct
Mm-hmm.
answer? Yes, indeed, D is the correct
Yes.
answer. Okay, because we have identified the object, which is college. It talks about
College.
college. Okay, if you look at the other answer options, they're talking about the grandmother, about helping the grandmother bake a cake, which is not relevant
Mm-hmm.
to the paragraph, to the second
Yeah.
paragraph. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So far, any question from our viewers?
One of them is asking, what is GIS teacher?
Okay, gist. Gist is actually a general idea. Passage tu ataupun petikan tu cakap tentang apa? Is it about pollution?
Mm-hmm.
Is it about like this one Sneha? It talks about Sneha's life, about the grandmother. So that is what I
Mm-hmm.
meant by gist. Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
Adrian Shamila, correct. The answer is D. Very good. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
for part 4, I know this is the most challenging part out of all 5 parts. So how to make sure you are able to answer this part well? Again, practice, practice, practice. This is the only way for you to improve your English. Okay. All right. I see there's one question from Mr. Ibrahim. Okay, how to detect the clues for get text if the text is too technical and I could barely understand the context? Okay. All right. Again, this is the tips that I find very, very helpful, regardless of what kind of text the students are given, be it factual or narrative. So just follow these steps, Mr. Ibrahim. Okay. Again, the students, they don't have to understand the meanings of all words in the passage. Just look at the sentence before and after the blanks, and most importantly,
Mm-hmm.
understand the gist of each paragraph. Okay, that will
Mm-hmm.
help the students. All right. So if you think this is the most difficult part, then don't attempt answering this part yet. Answer this part, the last one. Kan, betul tak? Jangan buang masa. Okay, because our
Mm-hmm.
students, they have the tendency to stop at the questions that they do not know the answer. Termenung punya lama. Sampai apa ni?
Yeah.
Tu.
Yeah, they're wasting a lot of time.
Yes, yes, yes. Don't waste your time. Okay, remember there are 5 parts for paper 1. Okay, so focus on the other parts that you are confident in. Okay, all right, next one.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll move on to part 5, information transfer. Question number 33 to question 40, which carry 8 marks. Basically, the common question asked by students would be, what are some useful tips for part 5? Okay, remember there are 2 parts for part 5. The first part is for question 33 to 36, and second part, question 37 to 40. And both parts require different skill in order to answer the questions. Okay, I'm going to tackle first part, question 33 to 36 first. All right. The tips are, first, read the questions before you read each paragraph. Okay? And then, as you read the questions, underline the keywords. Again, the keywords could be the pronoun, it could be the subject, it could be the object. It depends. All right? And number 3, after you have read the questions, after you have underlined the keywords in the questions, then only you look at each paragraph from A to H. Okay, read each paragraph and try to identify whether there are similar words, whether there are similar phrases or sentences. And if you find any similar words or phrases or sentence, then underline it. Okay, this could be the answers, because normally for first part, question 33 to 36, the questions are rather straightforward. Tak susah pun. Don't overthink. Okay, sometimes
Yeah.
good students, they tend to overthink. Kan? Bila overthink, habislah. Alright, try not to overthink.
Yeah, there's no conspiracy theory for any of the
Yes,
question. Yes.
yes. Yeah. So far, English paper, the
And
question.
remember, practice makes perfect. You really need to practice a lot so that you
Yes,
don't overthink.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, it comes naturally if you practice a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Sama.
so
Okay,
far, English paper is not as controversial as other subjects, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
we are
Alright.
not the the killer subject anymore. It's
Yes, yes.
killing the teachers. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's look at this question. Okay, question. This is taken from Kelantan Try Paper 2021. All right. What do I mean by underline the keywords as you read the questions? Is okay. Look at question number 33. Apart from the beaches, you can also visit volcanic area there. So, do you think you need to maybe underline the word beaches, or maybe visit, or volcanic
Mm-hmm.
area? Okay, try to underline these 3 words. And
Mm-hmm.
after you have read question number 33, and after you have underlined the keywords, try to read the paragraph there, A to F.
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, D, E, F. There are 6 different paragraphs there. And try to find in
Mm-hmm.
which paragraph can you find the word maybe beaches or visit or volcanic area. Yeah, teacher Suriati, can you try to find in which paragraph can you find these words? Maybe volcanic. Kita try.
I'm so sorry. My eyesight doesn't allow me to see the slides. Okay,
Would you like to try?
I would like to help her. I would like to help her.
okay,
Yes, I found
Azrul. Perhaps
the word
before
beaches.
that, one tip that I would like to share before
Mhm.
Imran helps me with reading afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, I always ask my students to look at the requirement of the question. Here, they need to
Mm-hmm.
write down the alphabet of the paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so underline or circle or highlight the alphabets given so that they don't confuse. Because earlier when
Mm-hmm.
we do practice, my
Mhm.
students tend to write the whole thing like Tan businessman, what is
Yeah.
Margaret apa tu lawyer.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.
by right they should write the alphabets for each paragraph.
Yeah,
So
but
you need
yeah.
to practice that as well. You don't take for granted. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't know
Mm-hmm.
how would the answers can be later. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Imran, please help me.
Yeah, yeah. Before Imran helps you,
Yeah.
I would like to reiterate that whatever before they answer the question, they need to read the instruction carefully. Like this
Yes.
one, this
Yeah.
particular question specifies the student to write the paragraph. But I did
Mhm.
come across, some questions that require the students to write the name
Yeah.
instead of paragraph. So again, read the instruction carefully, okay?
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
might not
Yes.
know what will come
Mhm.
out in your SPM. Surprise,
Exactly.
surprise. Nanti kan? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Imran, could you please help Madam Suriati?
Okay.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, I have managed to find the word beaches and
Okay.
volcano. There, okay, in
Okay.
F,
Very
Lisa
good.
Nurse. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, F is actually the correct answer. Okay.
Yay.
Can we try one more question? Question number 34. This place
Mhm.
is suitable for those who love historical places like ancient temples, cathedrals, and museums. So maybe perhaps you should underline or highlight the word cathedrals or temples or museum.
Temples, museum, yes.
Yeah,
I found them in D with
in
Tan
D.
businessman. Yes.
Yes, very good. And that is actually the correct answer. So let's check the answers now. Okay, F, D, C,
Yes.
and B.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, moving
Okay.
on.
We've got one question from
Mhm.
Sunmi. Okay,
Okay.
we only need to blacken the objective paper, right, for this part. Yes, Sunmi. What I'm telling you just now is, if this is from experience. Okay, when students they tend to write like the full sentence or the full
Yeah.
parts. A Sophie teacher, B
Mm.
Hafiz doctor. Later on, when they are to transfer the answers to the answer sheet,
Yeah.
they'll get
Yes.
confused.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's why read the paragraph, read the
Mhm.
question, make sure you fulfill the task. If they need you to write the paragraph, just
Mhm.
write the words, the letters for the paragraph, so
Yeah.
that when you transfer the answers to the answer sheet, you'll not be confused.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It
Yes, because
happens.
remember,
That's why
Mr.
I
Azrul said, yeah, time is gold because you should not waste your
yes,
time reading, looking for the
don't,
answers. No,
don't.
Yes. Yes. Don't overthink. Okay.
don't overthink. Don't be like Rizal. Yes.
Kesian Rizal kena ya. Okay. Shall we continue? All right.
Okay.
Remember, practice makes progress. So practice, practice, practice. All right. Okay. The second part of the information transfer, part 5. All
Yeah.
right. Most of the students they find it difficult, especially if this part they are given a paragraph instead of
Mhm.
sentences. Okay, so if they're given a paragraph, then it could be a bit challenging for them, especially for lower proficiency students. All right, but however, these are the tips that I'm sure could help you to tackle questions number 37 to 40. First, again, skim and scan each paragraph. So what do I mean by skim? By skimming and scanning, I'll explain later in the following slides. And then number 2, read the sentences which have the blanks thoroughly. Baca ayat yang ada tempat kosong tu. Okay, because you need to focus on these sentences. Alright. And lastly, remember, write only one word answer for these questions. Okay, if you write 2-word answer, okay, even though the word is correct, okay, but because you write 2 words,
Mhm.
then we will consider it as incorrect. Okay, remember this is very,
Mhm.
very important.
Yeah.
Okay, skim and scan the paragraphs. You skim because you want to get general overview of the paragraph, but
Mhm.
you scan because you want to find specific facts.
Specific.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. And why do you need to read the sentences which have the blanks thoroughly? Because when you read these sentences, you at the same time should identify any similar word or phrase or perhaps words which are used in the sentences to the paragraphs, because these could be the clues. Okay, remember they set the question bukannya susah-susah tak tidak jawab. No, I'm sure there are clues. Sometimes you say tak jumpa pun perkataan ni, there's no word
Mm.
because they use synonym. So when they use synonym, that is where the question gets a little bit difficult. Okay.
Mhm.
So what is synonym? Let's recap a little bit. Okay, synonym is actually a word which has the same or nearly the same meaning. For example, I've listed five words with their synonyms. Okay, for example, the first one, important. Another word for important would be crucial, essential, or vital. So you can apply this knowledge not only in reading paper but also in your speaking as well as your writing paper. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure if kita ada berapa 1,000 viewers ni, 1,000 viewers tengok, all of you, I'm sure you know the word important, but I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
not all of you know how to use essential. Okay, basically
Mm-hmm.
essential means important. Okay, it's a more sophisticated word. All right, that is why we need to use a lot of synonyms in order to score
Mm-hmm.
higher marks for writing, especially. Okay, next word is serious. Okay, the synonyms are significant or urgent or pressing. Okay, next one, funny. You can say humorous, hilarious, or amusing. Okay, enjoyable, entertaining, delightful, pleasant, and last but not least, bad. Instead of saying bad, you can use the word awful, terrible, or dreadful. All right. So
Dreadful.
these are some of the common synonyms that you might find in the reading paper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Azrul,
Yes. Yes.
perhaps is students wants to do a very quick revision or quick study on synonyms,
Mm-hmm.
they can use notes from Pinterest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you go to
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest, you type in other words then. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and when you type that, there'll be lots of very colorful and nice notes on
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
synonyms actually. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and trust me, you do this, you are helping yourself with your writing paper as well.
Yes. Yes. I
Okay,
agree.
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
please try to do something about learning the vocabulary
Mm-hmm.
within this short span of time that we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for telling us that. Okay. All right.
Mm.
Let's. Yeah.
Mr. Azrul,
Yes. Yes.
Madam Aisyah and M. Haji asked the same question. How to manage their time to answer specifically for paper one?
Okay.
It's a
How
bit
to
hard
make.
for them, yeah.
All right. Number one, always look at your clock or your
Yeah.
watch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, very important. Okay, you can look at the clock in the hall. I'm sure your school hall has one. So
Mm-hmm.
always set which part. When you step into the hall, you should know for paper one, which part will I attempt first? Is it going to be part five or part three or part
Mm-hmm.
two? Okay, you have to decide for yourself. I cannot tell you, okay, you should do part four first because it is the most difficult part. No,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you that because it is entirely up to you. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
should plan it better. We can only give
Yeah.
you tips, but again, it all depends on you. Okay, you
Yeah.
know yourself best. All right. Okay, any
Okay,
more
one more
questions?
question,
Yes.
one more.
Mm-hmm.
My students mentioned to me that teacher tak faham or teacher malas baca.
Allah.
Okay, let me respond to this first.
Before that, teacher,
Yeah,
there's no cure for laziness. So yeah.
yeah, teacher tak faham because you don't read. Teacher malas baca and I also malas bagi markah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you don't do that, students, please. That's
Mm-hmm.
your duty to study. That's your duty to try to understand what you are studying.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
regardless the papers. Tak kira lah subjek apa pun,
yes,
be it English, sejarah, BM, you have to force yourself to understand and you have to
Mm-hmm.
force yourself to read. Okay,
yes,
there's no
yes.
other way. Please don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember you are only taking SPM one time, hopefully. Okay, I
yeah,
don't think you have
Yeah.
the ambition to retake it again and again. So please
Nanti masuk kelas
be
sama dengan junior. Don't do that.
yeah, just be diligent for this ones. Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, shall we continue?
Of course.
Okay, let's try one more practice for questions 37 to 40. All right. Remember my tips just now. You should skim and scan each paragraph quickly. Okay, and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, look at the sentences which have the blanks. For example, for question number
Mm-hmm.
37, we have the sentence Paris is famous for its what and the blank, like Louvre
Mm-hmm.
Museum and Arc de Triomphe monuments. So, you know, for question number 37, it is
Mm-hmm.
referring or it is talking specifically about Paris. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so your eyes should be looking at the paragraph which talks about Paris. Mr.
Yeah.
Imran, please tell me
A.
which paragraph. Okay,
A.
very good.
Yeah.
Top, ni A plus student ni. Takdan habis soalan dah abang dah.
I mean,
Okay, very good. Yes, you are right. We should be looking at paragraph A, and the answer is definitely in paragraph A. So how to identify or to detect the answer is you have been given the proper noun Louvre Museum and Arc de Triomphe. Can you find it in paragraph A? In which line? Line number?
1, 2, 3. Line number 3.
Line number 3, right? Okay.
Yes.
And look at the whole sentence. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, I always think about planning a long vacation to the City of Lights and take a long walk near the Eiffel Tower and other iconic attractions like blah, 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 blah. So
Yeah.
Paris famous for its what? Can you say for its iconic? Is it
No,
correct?
it's that one is an adjective. No.
Yes, it is an adjective, so it is wrong. So for its what?
Mhm.
For its
Attractions.
attraction, because you
Yeah.
have a phrase like Louvre Museum and Arc de Triomphe, and you can also find the
Mm-hmm.
same phrase in the question there. Therefore,
Yeah.
for question number 37 is definitely
Mm-hmm.
attractions. Okay? All right. Can we have our viewers to try and answer question number 38? Okay? Okay, please try to answer question number 38 and write down your answer in the chat box. I can't try, Rizal. I'm presenting. Okay, for question number 38, as a what? The towers of
Mm-hmm.
London, Tate Garden, and Buckingham Palace are some of the famous landmarks to be visited. So, can you tell me which paragraph should we be looking at? A clue, towers of
Paragraph.
London, Tate Garden, Buckingham Palace. In which paragraph?
Paragraph B.
Paragraph B. Yes, you are right. Very good.
Yes.
So, as a what? Okay, let's look at paragraph B.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can someone tell me what is the answer?
On the first line. The first line.
First line. What is your answer, Mr. Imran?
Uh, is the answer city?
As a city. Is it correct? As a city,
Huh.
the towers of London, Tate Garden, and Buckingham Palace are some
No.
of the famous
Yeah.
landmarks. Are you sure?
No.
Aren't we
That's not
looking
the
at the last
answer.
line? No,
Yes.
not world, not world.
So basically, even though you identify the paragraph, you should read the all of the lines for you to
Yes.
find the answer.
Yes. Remember, you should read the sentence before and after the
Mm.
blanks. Make sure they are coherent. Okay. So as a what? As a tourist. Very good. Mr. Aiman, yes,
Mhm.
as a tourist, the towers of
Yes.
London, Tate Garden, and Buckingham Palace are some of the famous landmarks to be visited.
Visitor. So the clue there visitor untuk
Yes.
dilawati. So as a tourist sebagai
Yes.
pelancong.
Yes. Okay, so let's look at the answers for question 39 and 40. shopping, and rent. Okay, for number 40, the clue has been given to you already. The word before the blank is a modal verb, can. So you should know
Mm-hmm.
that after modal verb, the answer will be an action verb that is in root word. No S, no E,
Yes.
no ing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
rule is a giveaway actually. You should know the rule. And this applies for part 2 as well. After modal
Mm-hmm.
verbs, it must be in root word. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. That is all from me for part 4 and part 5. Is there any more questions that they want us to clarify? Remember, practice makes perfect. Okay?
There is a question from Mr. Ibrahim. Is it advisable for the students to omit the two decoys first before anything else?
For which part?
He didn't state for which part.
I
So
think for perhaps for part one,
part
two,
four.
and three
I think part
for this
four.
one.
So the two decoys to omit the two decoys because there are two. How to say incorrect answer options
The
for the
last part. You
gaps.
said the last part.
For the
The
last part.
last part.
Two decoys. Which one? Are the
Which one?
decoys?
Last part. Part 5, is it?
Uh-huh.
To make the two decoys first before anything
Let me
else.
share my screen once again. Are there decoys in the last part? Which one?
For part four, yes, there are two decoys
Yeah.
for the answer options, right? But
Yeah.
if you're
Part 4.
asking about part four, no.
Yeah. Part 4,
Uh,
there are two distractors, correct?
mhm. You cannot omit them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. All right. For part number five, Mr. Azrul and
Yes,
viewers
yes.
out there, I also asked my teachers, my students to attempt to answer, to fill in the blanks without referring to the text first. Okay, whichever answer that they can come up with, and then they refer to the text because at least they know what they need to look for. Noun, adjective, so what are the synonyms, or probably, for example, the ones that you have given the last part, can visit. Probably if they attempt that, okay, can visit, can see, can watch. And then when they try to look for the answers in the text, so at least they know what they have to look for. That's what I told my students. Yes, Mr. No, the one is from. Yes, Mr. Ibrahim said for part
Yeah.
four,
Part 4.
can we omit the two decoys for part four, the two distractors for part four
Um, Please
first?
don't do that. Okay,
Mhm.
don't omit before you are able to identify the correct answers for all 6
Mm,
questions yet. Okay,
mm,
because yeah, sometimes the students, they're not confident with their answers, right? So
Mhm.
all 8 answers could be the answers for the 6 questions. So yeah, don't omit before you really sure with your answer. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes, Ayu Safia, I
yeah.
agree. You need to learn more for part 4. So what I do with my students is I photocopied all trial papers, all from most of the states, and give them to answer the questions. Buat banyak-banyak sampailah muntah. Okay. Because remember, practice makes progress and practice makes perfect.
Mhm.
A very good question from Adriana. What if we spell the word wrong, but the sound is similar to the
Okay,
correct answer?
what if we spell the word wrong, but the sound is similar to the contact, to the correct answer? For example, tourist, but we write it tourist.
Okay, it will be considered as wrong. Okay, for information transfer, question 37 to 40, your answer, the spelling, it has to be 100% accurate, especially when it comes to singular and plural noun.
It's lagging,
Okay,
right?
sorry, come again.
Oh,
No, it's okay. It's
Aisha,
okay.
Ayu Safia said, can you teach the rest of the question here?
For part four.
I think we are running out of time actually.
Uh, okay, can I share what I've taught my students for part four to add on to what Mr. Azrul have taught you guys? Okay, so for part four, in my slideshow, I don't know whether you can see it now. It's up to the admin.
No, we can't. Perhaps you can share the screen.
Okay, now I have shared the slideshow. Yes, I haven't
Yes.
stopped sharing
Okay.
it, but it's okay. Okay, just like what Mr. Azrul said, you have to first read the whole text, and then you have to carefully read the sentences before and after each gap and the given sentences. Okay, you have to read all of that for you to really, really understand, for you to know, for you to identify the correct answer, which one should be put into the gap, and you have to look at the clues. Okay, in the both the text and the given sentences, pay attention to the reference item. Pronoun, like what Mr. Azrul had taught you before. Pronoun, it, they, referring to what? Referring to which object? Referring to which subject in the sentences before and after. You can look at the sentence linkers, the cohesive devices, the connectors. However, if it is talking about a contradicting ideas, so the word, the cohesive device, however, will be relevant to be put into the gap. So you have to look at the sentences before and after, and also all the answer options given. All right. Okay. So here I think the okay. And then you have to remember that the correct option must logically complete the writer's meaning and grammatically fit the gap. For example, if the sentences before and after is in present tense, so the gap should also be in the present tense. Okay, and then the idea is, of course, should logically complete the writer's meaning. For example, like what Mr. Azrul have shown us before, he's talking about college, and then the sentence after is also talking about going to college, and then you cannot choose the ones where the main character, who was it, Mr. Azrul? I forgot.
Sorry?
Sonia.
Sneha, Sneha.
Sneha, Sneha. Okay, and then you cannot choose the ones where Sneha is helping her grandmother in the kitchen because it's not related to the sentence before and after. Okay, so you can
Yes.
also look at the tips, you can also look at the articles, the pronouns that link the missing sentences to the sentences before and after in the text. Okay, then find out what those words refer to and place the missing sentences in the correct place. Okay, so I think that should help you. Okay,
Yeah.
because remember, they is referring to what? If there are pronouns in the answers given, okay, you can try to identify which which nouns are the pronouns referring to. Okay, they is referring to what, it's referring to what. If you can find the connection, like what Mr. Azrul have taught us before, then it will help you to really confirm. Okay, yes, this is the answer. A is the answer. B is the answer. Okay, all right. That, those, these, plural, singular. You have to look at those clues. That will help you a lot for you to answer part four. Okay, and remember, it should be logical. It should fit logically to the sentence before and after, before or after. Okay, sometimes it fits logically. The given sentence fits logically with the sentence that comes before that, but it might not fit logically with the sentence after. So you have to read, reread, try to understand the meaning, whether the ideas are there. If you put all, sorry, fill in the gaps with the answers given. Okay, so basically, I believe you have been taught this by your teachers. So you have to, again, practice, practice, and practice. You have to encounter the words. You have to encounter the vocabulary, the grammatical items for you to know about it first, so that you are well equipped, so that you are prepared when you enter your examination hall to answer 1119 paper 1 reading and use of English for your SPM paper. Okay? All right.
Okay, thank you, Imran. And before we end our session tonight, to those who missed our For You series one last week, You can always go back to the YouTube recorded version. Okay, the
Yeah,
YouTube from Delta channel, I believe.
Delta Kedah.
Okay,
Yes,
and
Delta Kedah.
this session is also recorded and will be available on YouTube. And
Yes.
from me, please believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and push yourself to the highest limit. Trust yourself. You can do it.
Hmm. And please remember, next week we will have another series, I believe, for speaking and listening.
Yeah.
Yes. So please
Yep.
tune in.
Okay. All right. So before we end the session, again, my advice would be read, 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 because that is the only way for you to improve your English. Okay. And I hope that through our sharing session tonight, we managed to answer all of your questions and clear all of your doubts that you have in mind. And
Yes.
hopefully, we are able to prepare you well for the upcoming SPM examination. Okay. And once again, thank you to Mr. Imran. Thank you to teacher Suriati for sharing with us the score calculator, for sharing with us lots of useful tips. I hope you find tonight's session very, very fruitful. Okay, teachers and students. All right, and don't forget there will be another series as mentioned by Teacher Surati and Mr. Imran just now next week on speaking and listening. So see you
Yeah.
again at the same time and in the same channel. Okay, and thank you all for tuning in, for joining us. So, assalamualaikum and have a very good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you,